common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Well, let's go to Joe Concha, if we could, who is Fox News media analyst. And we are lucky to have Bob Unanue, Peter Navarro also with us in studio, Joe. Also, former Congressman Peter King, Judge Weinberg, John, and me. We got a full house here, Joe. We miss you. First off, we're talking about the debate tonight. New rules for the debate.
Not tonight, tomorrow.
I mean, tomorrow night. Now I'm confusing days. You're confusing names, I'm confusing days. Tomorrow night, of course, the big one tomorrow night. And this could be the last one because so far it doesn't look like another presidential one's going to happen. Your thoughts, Joe?
You remember when Mike Tyson fought Michael Spinks 1988 and it was over in 91 seconds? J.D. Vance will be Tyson and Spinks will be in the role of Governor Walz. And the reason why I say this, and I'm using a boxing analogy here, guys, is because Tim Walz has yet to take one uncomfortable or tough question since he became Kamala's running mate many weeks ago. Hasn't done one national interview solo on his own. He had to be there with Kamala that one time on CNN. So this is somebody who's had no sparring, no training, hasn't taken even a jab to the jaw at this point. And now he's going to go on the debate stage for 90 seconds with J.D. Vance, who, with all due respect to Donald Trump, J.D. Vance is an excellent debater, probably the better of the two. I went back and watched his debates against Tim Ryan when he ran for the Senate a couple of years ago. He is cool, he is comfortable, and he is concise. Tim Walz isn't going to know what hit him. And since 60 million people will be watching, to your point, guys, there won't be another presidential debate. This is the last big moment, the last big event of this campaign. And if this is the last impression voters are going to get when they say they see Tampax Tim Walz, this 80s goofy sitcom dad, that's the way he comes across, I think this is going to be a big, big turning point in this election.
Peter King.
Yeah, Joe, this is Pete King. First of all, it's always great to have you on.
Hey, Pete.
I was in Congress with Walz. I mean, this is the mismatch of the century. I wouldn't even compare him to Spinks. I don't know who I compare him to.
Spanks.
Yeah. Some Golden Glover going in the ring against Tyson. This is going to be a total mismatch, and Walz is, to me, like a big buffoon, to be honest with you.
And that's right, Pete. And plus, even if you look at the styles here, and in Walz, there's already leaks coming out that he's worried and he's nervous in terms of the way he's going to do. The issues are on the side of J.D. Vance and, by extension, Donald Trump. When you look at the economy, when you look at crime, when you look at the border, immigration, and foreign policy, it's already lined up for J.D. And as long as he avoids he should fact check J.D. Vance. I'm sorry, Tim Walz, because here's the thing. CBS has just said that they are not going to fact check during this debate. Thank God, because ABC did it, and it was 5 for Donald Trump, and it was 0 for Kamala Harris. They're going to stay out of it. They say the candidates should fact check each other. So you know what's coming here, guys. You're going to hear Tim Walz say that Donald Trump wants a federal ban on abortion. He doesn't. That he wants to ban IVF. He does not. That Donald Trump is a supporter of Project 25. He is not. That the Trump tax cuts only benefit the rich. They do not. He's got to be ready for it. He's got to fact check Walz on the fly, and that should throw him off completely to the point where, again, you're right. This is going to be a rhetorical bloodbath.
Joe Navarro here. What do you think JD's going to do with respect to challenging Walz on his communist Chinese ties? Because as you probably know, they go deep in terms of business and trips and all of that.
Yeah, you got to bring that up, right? I mean, this is obviously a very big deal. You could hit Walz on so many different things, Peter, right? The communist ties, obviously, stolen valor, saying he served in a war zone. He did not. He ditched his unit when they were deployed to Iraq. You could hit him with that. He let Minneapolis burn in 2020, didn't call in the National Guard until it was far too late, $1 billion worth of damage. And, again, I have a son that's in third grade elementary school. I probably wouldn't like it if his boys' room suddenly had tampon machines in it, and that's what they have in Minnesota for boys in elementary school. So there are so many openings here, Peter.
I can't figure that one out. Why would they have tampons in the men's room?
What's the matter? You're not politically correct, John?
I know. Men could get pregnant, I guess. I guess little boys could get pregnant. It's insanity.
That's how they identify that.
That's right.
Yeah, it is. One thing I think is going to happen, Joe Concha, is the fact that the mics are going to be open. I found that really interesting. We were just talking earlier about that. That's a whole different rule because in the presidential debate, it was like, okay, the X time, they couldn't talk over each other. They are opening the mics. So I think Tim Walz is going to try to kind of do rapid fire so much, with whatever, try to spin. That's where it's going to get interesting. I actually wish it wasn't going to be open mics.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of interruptions, a lot of crosstalking. You don't get anywhere with that. I like the closed mic scenario. Do we know if there's an audience? Because I don't think there is.
No audience.
Yeah, which I don't quite understand that rule. But again, these are the things that Trump and Vance agreed to, and it's fine because it doesn't matter even under these conditions. I think that we're already seeing these real trends now as far as Trump having a momentum at his back. When you look at state polling, like he's leading in Pennsylvania right now. He wasn't within 7-8 points in 2016 or 2020. So whenever you see a poll and Trump is tied, that really means that he's up 4 or 5 points, and it just looks like things are going his way. And I think the reason why, guys, because I look at the Democratic coalition of the past and the types of votes that they got to get over the finish line and win elections. And unions always led that. And when you hear the Teamsters support Trump, rank and file, 2-1, then you got to believe that extends to steel workers, UAW workers, restaurant workers, and all those unions. If Trump has them, and he's gained significantly among Hispanics and blacks, you tell me outside of single women where Kamala Harris's votes come from to win this election. I just don't see her past.
Yeah, interesting. Joe Concha?
Where are the polls coming from?
Various ones, right? Like Gallup, for example, John. They have Donald Trump forecasted to be a 3-point winner in the popular vote. They have been insanely accurate in predicting the popular vote victor, like within a percentage point over the last 7 or 8 elections. If they have Trump up 3 nationally, that means he's winning. That means he's winning every swing state, maybe even states like Virginia and New Jersey.
Wow.
That's how bad that is.
And everybody, we're talking to Fox News media analyst Joe Concha. Judge Weinberg.
Joe, I want to ask you about the New York Times editorial lauding Nasrallah. What was that all about? How could they be apologists saying he's a statesman who wanted to have freedom of religion for all religions, Christians, Jews, and Muslims in a united Palestine? What was that about, and what's wrong with the New York Times?
Oh, the paper of record, right? I mean, what's wrong with them? There's just been something wrong with them ever since World War II, right? And look at their coverage of Nazi Germany way back when. This has been a problem for them for some time. But look, they just endorsed Kamala Harris today. Wow, what a shock. This is the same paper that endorsed McGovern, Humphrey, Carter twice, Mondale, who won 1 state, and Michael Dukakis, John Kerry, Al Gore, Hillary Clinton. So, yeah, their endorsement, they really have quite the track record when it comes to picking winners. And I think Donald Trump should take this as a badge of honor. Like, good, they didn't endorse me. Now I got a shot.
Wow. Well, Joe Concha, thank you very much. Let's see what happens tomorrow night. Boy, oh boy.